Not even in the hands of Da Vinci could pencil and paper draw out a better month of baseball for the Rockies. If the start of a season were a blank canvas, the last month for the Rockies would be a work of art in the making. But with any dedicated artisan, they rarely believe their work is ever complete. It's all good right now with the Colorado Rockies. Interleague play continues this afternoon from Coors Field in lower downtown Denver. And the building will be filled up once again as the Rockies look to sweep the New York Yankees. And the Rockies, for the first time this year, 3 games above the 500 mark. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies in this series have now outscored the Yankees 9-2. A 3-1 win on Tuesday night, a complete performance there. And then Jeff Francis was just outstanding yesterday. So was Andy Pettitte until the 6th inning. Matt Holliday hit one about 4 miles, and the Rockies piled on in the 7th inning, and away they go, a 6-1 victory yesterday. As I bring in my partner, George Frazier, you know, there's hitting, and then there's clutch hitting, and then there's clutch hitting with 2 outs. And boy, oh boy, the Rockies have been outstanding in that department.
Yeah, they didn't do it in April. I mean, let's be honest. They didn't hit with 2 outs. They didn't take advantage of opportunities. Well, in this series, they have taken advantage of these opportunities. Against Messina, it was Atkins with 2 outs. He drove in Tavares to tie the ball game up. And then later on in this ball game, another big hit, home run, a 2-out home run by Torrealba. That was huge in the ball game. You just expanded the lead. Torrealba, the great leader with this club. Last night, it was Tavares with Rodriguez drawn in. Easy to bring home the run here. And then how about the triple by Matsui to blow this thing wide open last night? All of that, folks, with 2 outs. That's clutch hitting. Matsui now hitting over 500 with 2 outs and men in scoring position. I'm not real good at this, but that's a pretty good number.
That's pretty remarkable right now. Well, pretty remarkable career for the guy the Rockies will have to knock off today. A fella by the name of the Rocket will take the mound in search of victory number 350. Rockies and Yankees, come on back to Coors Field with us.
The Gatorade Sports Science Institute. We test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
Code Red, need to hide.
You again. Hey, where can I compare auto insurance prices at this hour?
Easy. Get your Esurance quote, compare prices from other companies instantly online.
I save hundreds.
You'll save time, too. Quote
Buy
by print. Not much compares with the convenience of Esurance. I gotta fly. If you're on the go, you gotta have Esurance.
Compare and save on auto insurance.
Visit esurance.com today.
We're America's largest refiner, and some of the vehicles we fuel don't travel on roads. For those that do, we make some of the cleanest gasoline on the planet, and every drop is performance guaranteed. And our employees contribute over 200,000 hours a year in our communities. We know you probably don't think about these things when you think of Valero. That's okay, just as long as when you do think of us, you think of this. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Alex Rodriguez powers the Yankees against Barry Bonds and the Giants. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball.
We were in an emergency situation. We don't have extra. We have a little bit of water and a little bit of food. A meeting place, no.
No.
I don't think we have a first aid kit.
We have tuna fish, we have beans, we have canned tomatoes,
True.
you know.
That's true, but that's really not survival food. Tomato paste.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cholesterol. My doctor said to watch it. So I ride my bike, eat the good stuff, and take our leak every day.
Garlic's clinically proven ingredient maintains healthy cholesterol naturally.
The doctor's happy. So am I.
Eat right, exercise, Garlic.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
And the 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. We missed a couple of pitches as Rodrigo Lopez was quick to warm up, and the home plate umpire supposed to hold it till 05, decided to let him pitch it 1:04 in the afternoon. Took something off, and Johnny Damon swings 2 balls, 2 strikes on Damon, who's getting his first start, George, in this series. He's all banged up.
Yeah, he really is. He's got cap, he's got back, he's got ribs, he's got a little bit of everything working for him right now. But he played first the other day, got 2 at-bats. And quite honestly, they've lost 2 straight. They need his back in the lineup.
Not going to get on here. He's thrown out on the comebacker by Rodrigo Lopez. Let's take a look at Joe Torre's lineup today. Derek Jeter, of course, in the 2-hole. He has been sensational all year. How about all career? Bobby Abreu in right field in the 3-hole. Then A-Rod, who's been kept fairly quiet. Jorge Posada again in the 5th spot. He'll be catching. Then Hideki Matsui, Robinson Cano. Miguel Cairo, who has been doing a lot of starting at first base, will get his first start there in this series. And then, of course, Roger Clemens batting 9th. And Rodrigo is very familiar with the Yankees, George, and the Yankees are very familiar with the former Oriole.
Yeah, 7 and 8 in his career, 2 and 2 last year with a .455 earned run average, command of the strike zone, 4 walks at Coors Field. That's a big number for me in 27 1/3. You have to swing it to beat him. He's 3-0 at Coors Field this year, 3.29 earned run average.
Well, Derek Jeter hits everybody. 343 average, 317 lifetime average. In his career with Rodrigo Lopez, he's a .446 hitter with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. That's at 56 at bats. This is the 20th career start for Lopez against the Yankees.
Well, he's one of the toughest, obviously, chores is pitching against the Yankees. Winning record against the Red Sox, winning records against Tampa in the East and against Toronto. But with the Yankees 1 game under, mentioned that earlier. It's true as you look at the overall numbers, 6.02 earned run average.
You know, the ERA is ugly. It's 6.02. George just mentioned it. But the interesting thing in talking to people who follow the Yankees on a day-to-day basis, there's a slider down and away, 1 and 2. George, he's either been just outstanding against New York or really poor.
Well, you always look inside the numbers. 121 innings, 142 hits. A little bit more, but not a whole lot. But he has 99 strikeouts in those 121 innings, and he's only walked 40+. So, you know, the numbers inside the numbers tell you he's pitched a little bit better than what the ERA tells you.
1-2, and that was real close. Derek Jeter, like some of the great hitters in the game, will often get the borderline call to go in his favor.
Well, you see Torrealba set up, put the ball on the knee, put the glove on the kneecap, and it's matched up by Lopez. Put it where he wanted, didn't get the call.
Jim Reynolds, our home plate umpire. Here's the 2-2 to Jeter, and that's just a little bit too far inside, evidently. 3 and 2.
Well, the interesting thing for umpires, they get caught up in the same situation. Jeter at the plate, big crowd, 49,000, a great series here in Colorado.
They're going to break the 3-game attendance mark. Todd Tishner's at first, Lance Barksdale at second, Tim Wilkie, the crew chief, is at third base. 3 and 2 on Derek Jeter. And this is in the air down the right field line and drifting well back. The Rockies alignment defensively, the same as you've seen in the first 2 ball games for Clint Hurdle. Holiday, Taveras, Hott, Atkins, Tulowitzki, Matsui, and Helton in the infield. Torrealba again doing the catching. The Rockies defense has far and away been the best in the game this year. 3-2, and that's chop foul. In fact, the Yankees have made only 2 errors the last 14 games. That is tied for the best stretch of defensive baseball in the game, along with the Colorado Rockies. Rockies have been errorless their last 5. Just 2 miscues the last 14. A bit of weather blowing in, perhaps. 93 degrees here at game time. But for the first time in the last 72 hours.
Wow, look at that batter's eye, Drew. Everything waving around out there. The ivy that's growing up in center field.
There's a serious cloud cover moving in. In fact, a dark cloud right now hovering over Coors Field. It wasn't like this literally about 25 minutes ago. 3-2 again, and that ball cuts outside. So Jeter, with his patience, earns a trip to first.
Well, let's
check
take a
the
look.
keys to the game.
Yeah,
George.
let's check the keys to today's game against the New York Yankees. Why not? Why not sweep them? I mean, don't be satisfied with just a couple of wins against them, and you know you've won the series. Now just spank them, send them on down the road to Frisco. Momentum continues to flow. 2 out base hits. It's happened in the series. Let that happen, and let the good feelings roll. I think that's the biggest thing. When you've taken 2 away from the Yankees, you look for the third one. Keys of the game brought to you by Burt Toyota.
Bobby Abreu with 1 out and Jeter at first. Jeter had 35 bags last year. And he takes off here. Torrealba up. Now he comes back. He got hung up. Jeter got a terrible jump, and Helton will tag him out. George, I mean, you see sometimes guys will shut it down unless that was a missed hit and run.
Yeah, that's what
but,
I'm
I mean,
thinking.
He shut it down halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, because once you get that far out into the second base area, you just continue to go. I mean, he's talking to Torrey right now and Mattingly as he came in the dugout. See, he's looking back at the plate. When you're stealing a base, your head and focus will be on the bag. You're going to look straight ahead. But he was looking back halfway up. See right here, watch the head turn. He's glanced back. Now he realizes contact wasn't made. That was a hit and run. As I tell you right now, Jeter doesn't make mistakes like that. And to look at what's happened with the pitch as it got to the plate, that sold the fact to me, hit and run.
So 2 outs, nobody on, a 2-0 count on Bobby Abreu. That's in there, 2-1. Abreu's hitting 16 of his last 18 ball games. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. Well, that's Lopez. You've already seen a number of borderline pitches. He hasn't gotten a call yet. But like most pitchers, if you don't throw 95 plus, you better live on the edge.
Well, you have to locate. You have to take on the corners. You have to change speeds. You have to change the direction of the baseball. It seems to be with Abreu, though, everything's staying away. They don't want to give him anything on that inner half of the plate. They had success sinking the ball away, getting him to roll over the top of it. Left-handers have had the success of off-speed stuff away from him.
Bobby's been in the 3-hole every night. As you look at Jeter and Damon chat, he's hit all over the Yankee lineup so far this year. 5 different spots. And he fouls this off.
Well, you know what, Drew? They wanted that ball inside. They wanted it in on his knuckles. I mean, bust him hard, but the ball ran back out over the plate and he fouled it off. Surprised that they would come back in like that.
Wind really blowing hard from left to right field.
Anytime you see a pitcher's pants flapping on the mound, you know there's wind. Well, look out at the flags in center field above the scoreboard. I mean, that's as brisk as you will see it around here.
Three and two once again on Abreu. They set up inside, and this is on the ground to second. Kaz Matsui on the outfield grass, and it turns into a 1-2-3 start for Rodrigo Lopez. He'll hop over the line, head to the dugout, and the Rocket will be on the hill when we come back to Coors Field.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Introducing Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from Denver to the Bay Area for just $79 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
How can you change a kid's life?
Just by playing catch.
It's as easy as that?
It's as easy as that. Play catch, come to a ball game, and eat some nachos.
Become a sports buddy, and not only can you play catch, shoot hoops, and attend sporting events, but you'll also change a kid's life forever. Check it out at denversportsbuddies.com, and check out the great deals at cheaperfords.com, where a loaded 05 Explorer is just $15,900.
Join Sports Buddies and change a kid's life. It's game time.
Honey?
I think this might be our lucky day.
I think it might be.
I think this is what we've been waiting for.
I think it is. Yes! It turned blue!
Introducing the Coors Light Cold Activated Bottle. The mountains turn from white to blue when your beer reaches the perfect temperature.
It's blue like your eyes.
My eyes are green.
Only from Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit southwest.com. And by Affleck, ask about it at work. Sitting on 349 career wins, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And you're not going to get any argument from anybody that knows this game. Number 22, Roger Clemens. Back with the Yankees, George, this will be his third start. Great numbers, obviously, with the Red Sox, 41-13, a couple years with Toronto. His first stint with the Yankees, 78 wins, and then Houston. The last 3 years, he was 20 games over 500.
What jumps out at me is you just look at the number. You just mentioned it, 20 games above 500, 41 games above 500. I mean, look at his numbers, how they jump out. 28 games above 500, the earned run averages in those years in Toronto where they won world championships. I mean, you know, he is what he is. I mean, just what you just said. He's a 349-game winner in the big leagues.
And today is his 693rd career start. And Willie Taveras takes strike one. Roger, a little different. Fastball, they say 88 to 91 now. He throws the split, George, about a third of the time, maybe more.
Well, that's exactly right. He'll throw the split finger. He'll also throw the hard slider out on the outer half of the plate. Likes to cut the fastball. I'm not sure he's back. You know, I think you'll see him throwing a little bit harder in the first to the middle of August. I think you see it'll jump to the velocity side of things once he gets a little more arm strength involved in it.
There's the slider.
Yeah, at 82, hip side slider to Taveras. I mean, it wasn't something that I don't think he anticipated throwing that pitch. I think he wanted the ball away from it.
And that's the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's had 2 pretty good outings so far. He's 1-1. He got beat 2-0 in his last outing in the Bronx against the Mets. Jose Reyes hit a home run off him. Also had a base hit to drive in a run. Roger worked into the 7th inning. 2-2 on Taveras. And this is fouled off.
Now you go back to that start in Pittsburgh, and everybody said they delayed it so he would have not such a tough foe to go against. The Pirates have not played that great of baseball. Well, he commanded very well in that game. But as you notice, an awful lot of split fingers, an awful lot of sliders, kept people out on their front foot. Did a typical Roger Clemens job in the last 4 or 5 years. It's give me 6 innings and a chance to win.
And he locates on the inside corner to get the strikeout on Taveras. Let's take a look at the Rockies lineup today. Kaz Matsui again will be in the 2 spot. It's the same today as it was on Tuesday and Wednesday. Holiday, Helton, and Atkins in the middle. Brad Hoppin, right field, batting 6th. Then Tulowitzki was on base 3 times last night. Torey Alba in the 8 hole. He's caught every ball game, and Lopez will bat 9. Matsui from the right side yesterday broke the game wide open with a 2-run triple in the 7th inning. And the Rockies cruised past the Yankees late 6-1. And Matsui looks at a slider, and it's a little bit outside. Ball 1. Matsui 1 for 6 in his career matchups with the Rocket. And that pitch is down low, 2-0.
Well, we did research a couple of days ago. I don't think Matsui still doesn't have a bunt single so far this year. Well, Rodriguez still doesn't believe him. I mean, he's going to play him pretty tight at third base, and I don't blame him for that.
3-0. But George, you know, even having said that, and that is surprising, you have to honor it.
Well, you have to honor it. The only thing that, you know, in his spray chart, I noticed that when pitchers work him away, he's really good at just serving the ball through the hole. Anytime you drag yourself in tighter on that left side, you just reduce yourself as far as having enough range to cover ground. Clemens still, I mean, at his age, still pretty good. Saw a nice play made by Rodriguez last night on a bunt. And this is fouled off. Well, Clint Hurdle actually took the
obligatory questions about Roger Clemens prior to the ball game, and he said his presence is one of the things that stands out. And he said he'd have to be the top of the heap in the time that Clint has been in Major League Baseball in terms of pitchers. He said, you know, I first remember back in 1984, I faced him when Roger was coming up, and he was, at the time, Clint was in AAA. And he said, I realized then, you can tell when a guy has a real special arm.
Well, I watched it, you watched him in college. I'm a big fan of college baseball, and watch it. You can see it at Texas. You can see that it's not going to take long. I mean, this guy's going to be here. He had 2 quality. Scouts will tell you how many pitches, 1.5 pitch guys. He a 2-pitch guy. Well, he was a 2.5 pitch guy in college.
Line drive, but right at Cano. 2 outs. Here are the Yankees defensively. In the outfield, Matsui and Abreu in the corners. Johnny Damon getting his first start in a while in center field, and he's not moving well. He's got some leg issues. He's got a rib cage issue. We'll see if it is a factor in this game. Rodriguez and Jeter left side. Cano and Cairo on the right side. Posada again is behind the plate. 2 outs, and Matt Holliday. Matt, 2 for 3 and a home run against the Rocket. Look where this thing lands last night off Andy Pettit. It was 1-0 till that swing. Holliday makes it 2-1, and Pettit knows that was a missile. Pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Matt has a 7-game hitting streak going. Not your ordinary fare, though. .556 average. I mean, you got to put a hard hat on it. If you're going to go get a grilled chicken sandwich, George, with Matt at the plate, you better put the hard hat on.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something about Matt Holliday. In 2004, 400 at bats, 57 RBIs. I think he's at 287 at bats right now. 57 RBIs already. Of his 105 base hits, 43 of those have been for extra base hits. 26 doubles, 4 triples, 13 home runs.
Andy Pettit knows how dangerous he is. That ball sails out and away. I asked some guys if Roger can go get 94, 95 anymore. They haven't seen it yet. That doesn't mean he's not capable of doing it.
Well, you know, it's a couple of clicks. The last pitch was 91. You know, that day your arm feels extra special. He might be able to go get it. But the one thing he does now more than ever before, he pitches.
And a foul tip held by Posada. He gets 2 punch outs in the first inning. We'll go to the second. No score between the Rockies and Yankees.
To go to Invesco Field at Mile High. Go shop over 1,200 used cars. Go save with prices from $49.95. Get the Go guarantee. Get the Go Smart Choice. It's the Go Used Car Super Sale. With over 1,200 used cars. Go Broncos. Receive a complimentary Broncos license plate frame at the sale. Go to Invesco Field at Mile High. The Go Used Car Super Sale. Wednesday through Saturday. Hurry before used cars from $49.95 are gone.
Test fly the difference today during Saab's Summer Challenge. Go to SaabUSA.com/compare to see why the 2007 Saab 9.3 Sport Sedan has an overall higher safety rating than the Volvo S60. And with a starting price of under $27,000, you're closer to owning a jet than you think. Test fly the difference today during Saab's Summer Challenge.
Well, when you played 105 years and you have 26 world championships, you have some legends in your history. How about one George Herman, Babe Ruth? And then there was the Mick. At Oklahoma, Mickey Mantle, maybe the greatest switch hitter of all time. And then when you have to have some pitching also. And George Frazier, of course. 81-83 with the Yankees.
Can I say it? Grab some pine, pal. I love it. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Is there any grease on that ball?
Absolutely there was.
All right. A-Rod steps in against Rodrigo Lopez. He takes a strike at the knees, and again the flash bulbs go off.
You know, you don't see that. Barry Bonds, McGuire, you know, everything starts to happen. Well, here's something interesting. Drew, I wanted to watch and see how this happened. It got so dark here at the stadium, the lights were not on in the first inning. And now, they wasn't on when the Yankees hit, and they didn't turn them on when the Rockies hit. The reason behind that is equal opportunity. If the Yankees had to hit with them off, then the Rockies have to hit with them off, and then now you turn them on and light it up. So now it's all equal for everybody. And if you just open up a can of worms if you don't flip that switch in between innings.
And it takes a few moments for those huge lights to warm up. Here's the 0-2. And that pitch down in the dirt, 1-2. Rockies have held this vaunted Yankee attack to 2 runs in this series. And it's not like they've wiggled out of numerous threats. There haven't been numerous threats. Fogg was outstanding on Tuesday. Francis probably a notch better last night. 2-2.
And I know right now Rodrigo Lopez saying, you know what, get the shoebox out from behind home plate. You had it on Jeter, now you got it on Rodriguez. I've got to live with these pitches. I need that pitch down low in order for me to have success. I've got to have the knee ball strike call.
On the ground deep in the hole, Tulowitzki is not going to be able to get A-Rod. That's a heck of a play, though, to even make it a play at first base. So an infield hit for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, with the heavy grass, it's going to slow down a lot of these ground balls and allow Tulowitzki to utilize his range, and then the off-balance strong throw to first, inaccurate. When you have that type of first baseman and Todd Helton, a Gold Glover, it allows you to short hop some things. Rodriguez, I'll tell you, that's one thing about Rodriguez. He will run on every ball hit. He's not somebody to jog through things. You know, what a great young player now as he gets to the latter part of his career, just continues to get better. He's huffing and puffing a little bit, though. That altitude, he hadn't been on base. Was this first? I mean, had to run hard up the line.
So, you know, George, you didn't intend to do this, but you made an interesting statement there. You said, you know, as he gets on toward the latter part of his career, A-Rod's 31.
And he's getting better, but he's got 11 years in the big leagues.
I mean, Barry Bonds.
How many years he got in the big leagues?
The guy who's on the hill is 13 years older than A-Rod. I mean, A-Rod has first ballot Hall of Fame numbers right now, and he's 31.
Yeah, he's 31 years old, but I think this is his 12th year at the big league level. I'm not sure, maybe 11. I think he came up as a 20-year-old.
No, this is 13 now.
13th year in the big league.
Be 32 later this summer. Posada hits it in the air to Holiday. You could just tell, watch Matt's feet. They were jumping all over the place, and that's not because he couldn't judge the baseball. It's because of the wind.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to get knocked down, and what I mean by knocked down is it has a flight. You've been riding on those airplanes where you feel like you drop about 80 feet in a second. Same thing on the flight of this baseball.
Don't like those flights.
You don't like those flights, and it's coming out at you, and normally that ball would hang up longer into the outfield. But as the wind knocks it down, I mean, Matt Holliday looked like a defensive end trying to contain a running back. I mean, he was spread out in that crash position everybody likes to talk about, in order so he could go left, right, or forward if he needed to.
Nice analogy, George, because Matt's big enough to be a defensive end. Not far away. Hideki Matsui steps in, 1 out, A-Rod at first. One concession to age and a little greater bulk is that A-Rod does not run like he used to, does not look to steal bases like he used to.
Well, 8 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught twice. Well, he was the complete package earlier, and then all of a sudden when he got the big contract, it was the home runs, the RBIs. That's where his focus went.
His career high is 46 stolen bases. That's high, 2-0.
As the wind plays havoc with the outfield, infield fly balls, as a pitcher, a balance point, when you go out in the wind and you stand on one foot and feel the wind rock you, it's what a pitcher goes through. Because of that wind, a lot of times you lose your balance point on the mound, and you feel you have to rush it up and make adjustments. And when you do that, your arm angles change and everything else. So it's not just outfield, infield guys that are dealing with it. Pitchers deal with it also.
This ball's hit pretty well center field. Taveras going back, and he's going to run out of room. First home run by a Yankee in this series, and it's 2-0 New York. Hideki Matsui with his 8th of the year. And that may have been aided by the wind also, though he obviously hit it well.
For a guy that missed 15 days this year on the disabled list, 44 RBIs, 8 home runs. Went down and got a sinker from Lopez, starting to work its way to the outer half, just stayed too much middle and allowed Matsui to get under it enough to lift it out of this ballpark. Well, let's take a look at it on the Hyundai cam. Yeah, rotation and spin, but look at his focus and concentration in that back leg hip drive on the baseball.
That's Matsui's first home run ever against Rodrigo Lopez in 35 at bats. 2-0. And the first pitch is on the ground. A second. Cano will be retired by Matsui. 2 gone. Fans Quest wants you to experience the ultimate in Rockies baseball. Enter the Quest Home Field Advantage contest. Win infield box seat tickets. Go on field for batting practice and much more. Quest brings more Rockies into your life in more ways than ever. Two outs, the 8-hole hitter Miguel Cairo. Cairo at 246. Miguel's been around a little bit. Line drive and an easy play off the end of the bat, grabbed by Kaz Matsui. Hideki Matsui with a 2-run home run. Yankees lead it.
As communications technology advances, so does the potential for danger. Quest provides proactive security solutions so a company facing a threat can remain safe. Get Quest. Get nimble. The choice of 95% of Fortune 500 companies.
Corn-based E85 fuel is popping up all over Colorado. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles capable of using E85 than any other brand. It helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions and our dependence on oil. Good for the environment, good for our economy. Qualified lessees can lease this 07 Silverado half-ton for around $319 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Get a suit that fits. Men's Warehouse has suits starting at only $200. You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Jeter singles to start the eighth.
Go ahead, take it. Here's the thing. That Schmendrick, he keeps looking over here. And that one, he's got a gun. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Steal it. It's a beautiful thing.
Today's Super Slow-Mo Replay is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers with special lease rates now through July 2nd on the Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealer today. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Roger Clemens shakes off as Todd Helton steps in, and the fastball at the knees for a strike. You can tell when Todd mildly disagrees with the call. He kind of looked down at where the ball traveled toward the catcher. He thought that was low. And this ball's line foul. And yesterday, another milestone for Todd Helton. Seems every couple of weeks another milestone. Here is career hit number 1,000 at home for Todd. He had one later on, a double. He's sitting at 1,001. 2 for 9 in his career with a home run against the Rocket. That ball cut inside on the hands of Helton, and he said, you know, I just got to get rid of it. 5 players active with 1,000 or more hits at one ballpark. Sosa hit his 600th last night. for Texas against the Cubs. If you missed that.
600th home run. How about that? The first one he hit was in a Texas uniform and traded to the Cubs, where he hit 545 in that career from, if I'm not mistaken, 92 to 2004.
1-2, and this ball's hit pretty well to left field, and Matsui will get back and make the catch. The Yankees have played a similar defensive alignment in the outfield, George, to Tampa Bay. Pretty deep, pretty straight up.
Well, anything in front of him, you catch it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's because Larry Bowa managed here, coached here, and I think defensively, this is the way he felt to play this, is to play deep. When you're playing deep, let's do that. I mean, you know, and the one thing Helton has done such a very good job of is obviously going to the opposite field this year. Yeah, I want to watch Clemens because he has gone more to the off-speed stuff, the slider and the split, cutter, sinker, than that four-seam fastball a lot of times. What they try to do against guys like Helton, Atkins, and even Holiday particularly, is shake off the first pitch yet still go fastball. It's more of a decoy than anything else. You know, I'm shaking off to get to this pitch, to get to the breaking ball. So you put into the hitter's mind, maybe Posada's calling breaking ball or going fastball.
This ball's hammered deep left field, way back, sealing it. Garrett Atkins has made it 2-1 with his 8th home run of the year. He went slider, and Atkins smothered it.
Yeah, even with 349 wins at the big league level, when you make a mistake, hitters will make you pay for it. This was a big mistake. Over the middle of the plate, ball tie a little below, and that ball got out of here like a rocket.
A rocket off the rocket. And here's another guy that can hit rockets, Brad Hopp at the plate.
Let's go back on the Hyundai cam and give you a close-up view of solid contact. See the rotation spinning like a cement mixer? That's that slider. But it just didn't get there, folks. It got to the outfield seats.
Hey, Rocket, nice pitch!
Ball and a strike on Hop. Brad 1 for 8 in the series. Inside 2-1. Rockies now homered in 8 straight ball games. They were going 5-6 straight earlier in the year with a degree of regularity without hitting any over the wall.
39 games. Think about that. 39 games. Hop didn't have a home run. And now all of a sudden 12. Pretty good. Fun guy to watch hit. He knows he's a streaky kind of player. I mean, he knows he's a streaky hitter. But man, when he gets on one of those streaks, he jumps all over it. You see it by the numbers.
3-1.
He got one there. That's where he likes it. Down and in on the inner half of the plate.
Thing about Brad, and Brad's a big, strong guy. Matt Holliday, I mean, he commands a room. He's huge. I mean, he's chiseled. And Holliday looks like he can hit it as far as anybody, and he can. Brad Hopp, again, strong man. He'll hit him just as far as Holliday. Slightly different body type.
Yeah, big wide shoulders, though, good upper body on him. I mean, that's the thing about Hop. People don't realize how big he is till you get up next to him, and the forearms, biceps, and those broad shoulders. I'm a believer, guys with broad shoulders have a lot of power in their swings. They don't necessarily have to be muscle guys, and they throw the ball much harder than guys with slender shoulders consistently.
3-2, and that, you know what? I have to tell you what, and Jim Reynolds, for me right now, has gotten caught up with the name on the back of the jersey, even though it may be absent for Yankee uniforms, because that ball, Rodrigo hasn't gotten one pitch that's borderline. That thing's low.
Yeah, not even close. I think the big thing there just squared up Posada's body. That's why the called strike 3. Hop not happy with it. I mean, you know, that's the thing. You define your strike zone as an umpire early in a ball game. Don't change midstream. Don't change because of who's on the mound.
Well, there was 3 borderline pitches on Jeter, all called balls. Same thing with A-Rod. One 1-0 on Troy Tulowitzki. way outside. Tulo in yesterday's ball game, 2 singles, a walk, and a ground out, so he was on 3 times. Just enjoying the big atmosphere. 50,000 plus each night. And a crowd in that neighborhood again this afternoon.
I tell you what, the birds are getting dizzy here today, because remember a minute ago how they're blowing to right field about 80 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Now they're blowing straight out. A minute ago the wind was blowing straight down. I mean, the Flags have done everything today in a matter of an inning. Obviously some different types of winds coming off the mountains today.
3-0's in there, 3-1. Well, it's a thrill a day for the rookie Troy Tulowitzki. Got to meet his hero Derek Jeter yesterday. Spent a little time with Jeter. And today he's facing a legend.
Well, I got away with a high fastball. A little bit of late movement, a little ride to it.
This ball high in deep center field, way back, and Troy Tulowitzki has taken the legend deep and tied up this baseball game. You talk about hitting it far and high. How about that one? Dead center field, well back into the seats.
Now trying to look where this pitch is, and again a mistake made. Chest high, good high ball hitter when the ball's away from him, and he takes it out into left center field.
George, I'll tell you what, great description by you. Roger Clemens thought it was out of the strike zone. He turned around, he watched the replay of it, because that was chin high. Yeah, he couldn't believe Tulowitzki got on top of it.
Well, because of the upright stance that Tulowitzki has, it enables him to be a high ball hitter. So that ball, you can see it starting to even run back on him. He got his hands inside the baseball and great extension out front on a high fastball. That was an impressive home run by Tulowitzki because of where the pitch was and what he had to do to generate that bat speed to get it out.
445 feet, the estimated distance on that blast from Troy Tulowitzki. 0-2 on Torrealba. And this one's chopped to Jeter. Easy play for Derek. In the inning, the Rockies come right back against the Rocket. Garrett Atkins, a line drive home run to left. And then Troy Tulowitzki, one door down, a bomb to center field. We're even at 2.
Behold the wonder of it. Its wide mouth allowing it to flow cold and unrestrained to all that is parched. It is awe-inspiring, is it not? You really love this river.
River? No. I'm talking about this Coors Light wide mouth can.
The wide mouth can, a wide opening for wide open refreshment, only from Frost Brewed Coors Light.
People will travel great distances to enjoy this. You can get these wide mouth cans anywhere. Talking about the river.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Every day in the United States, millions go hungry. Thousands live right here in Colorado. That's why Cardell Homes and the Food Bank of the Rockies have teamed up to create home runs for hunger. When one of our players hits a home run, Cardell Homes will donate $100 to the food bank. Together with your contributions, we can help bring food to those in need. Visit cardellhomes.com to learn more about the Home Runs for Hunger campaign.
Sometimes when you're together, you just can't stand the idea of being apart. Because when you get into a Volkswagen, it gets into you.
I have no idea how this happens.
The Yankees got 2 in the top of the second. The Rockies come right back and hit 2 home runs off Roger Clemens to tie it up. Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is here. The FSN Final Score, the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. Catch it tonight, 10:30 p.m. on FSN. Rocky Mountain. Roger Clemens will lead things off in the top of the third inning against Rodrigo Lopez. Amazing thing to me is that Rodrigo pitching in the American League East. Well, I guess Roger was with Houston the last 3 years. That's part of the reason that he's only faced Clemens once.
Yeah, pretty amazing, isn't it?
And they both didn't have their best stuff that day. It was a no decision for both pitchers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. Yeah, the last 3 years. I mean, Rodrigo, this is his 5th year in the big leagues. So 3 of those years everywhere else, not here at all.
George, what'd you have him in 3-9 going up the line?
Well, you know what? At 43, I didn't run that well, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
You know,
and how'd you run at 44?
Not very well at all, and not at all. And I think, you know, you just watch the guy. This is where you realize that Roger's 43 years old. 44 years old.
Not till be 45 this year in August 4th. One out, and Johnny Damon, who hit a comebacker, takes strike one. There's been some talk, George, of putting Damon on the disabled list to see if he get the ribs better, the back better. Oh, and 2. Damon came to spring training admittedly a little bit overweight. He had to battle back from that. And then he hurt a calf muscle first game of the year. 0-2, strike 3 on the inside corner. Great pitch by Rodrigo Lopez. That's that hip side sinker, George, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he has that ability to be able to run both sides, and you get a left-hander crowding as Damon does that back leg. You could throw the four seam. That didn't have a whole lot of movement to it, though. It's really, you can see on the Hyundai cam, this ball stays right to the inside part of the plate. Not a lot of tailback. Good call by Torrealba. Good delivery by Lopez. Great results. I tell you, after your club throws a 2-spot on the board, I don't care who you're playing or who's on the mound, and you're pitching, the quicker you can get them back in the dugout, the better off you are.
2 outs. Jeter at the plate. He walked his first time. That's a good slider right there. Well, on 42 occasions since 1901, a shortstop has had 200 or more hits in a season. Jeter owns 5 of those, more than anybody else. He's on a similar kind of pace this year.
Change the eye level, something Josh Fogg did well the other day, a sinker baller that got a lot of fly ball outs for a difference. I mean, that's what he did. Well, this time he elevated his fastball a little bit with a little more juice behind it. Got it by Jeter.
See if he can put him away this time. He got ahead 0-2 in the first at bat. You know what? He actually missed location and almost fooled Jeter.
Backup sliders, sometimes one of the best in the business. I mean, you know, because a guy sees the ball up in here in this inner half and he gives up on it. So sometimes it can spin back in it. Now you can see that ball was off the zone, but sometimes you can spin it back to the plate and get away with that call.
Change up, miss, 2-2.
Well, as we look at the velocity so far, brought to you by Panasonic, 88 on the fastball, slider, 84, and then of course the 80 and 80 is sliders also.
Two lined at Atkins, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rodrigo Lopez. So the Rockies will get right back to the bat rack when we come back. Rockies 2 and the Yankees 2.
Behold the wonder of it. Its wide mouth allowing it to flow cold and unrestrained all that is parched. It is awe-inspiring, is it not? You really love this river.
River? No. Talking about this Coors Light wide mouth can.
The wide mouth can, a wide opening for wide open refreshment, only from Frost Brewed Coors Light.
People will travel great distances to enjoy this. You can get these wide-mouth cans anywhere. Talking about the river.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
This quesadilla has 3 cheeses.
Yes, Mom, and seasoned beef.
And they gave it to you for $1.29?
They give it to everyone for $1.29. It costs $1.29.
Well, you should be proud for finding it.
Mom, please.
He's so modest. And handsome, too.
Taco Bell's new extreme cheese and beef quesadilla. Seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, and 3 melted cheeses for only $1.29. To get unbelievable taste and price, think outside the bun.
Excel Energy and the Colorado Rockies are teaming up to catch the sun with solar energy at Coors Field. Come to a ball game and check out our solar-powered rock pile LED board and learn more about solar energy by visiting the educational display inside the ballpark.
So does he live in the city?
No, but he might soon.
What's that mean? Oh boy.
So what does he do?
Oh, I'm sure he does lots of things.
He'll probably expect her to cook for him. Freeloader.
No, for a living.
Bounty hunter.
Doctor?
With Quest, family connections can happen anywhere, anytime. Bundle high-speed internet, digital voice, and now wireless all for one low price. Call today and build a bundle that's just right for you. Even add digital TV for not much more. Bundle, save, connect. That's our spirit of service.
2-2 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. 9-1-2 for the Rockies. Our Excel Energy fun fact before the Yankees got Ruth. They were a sub-500 team 8 times in the 88 season since the Yankees been below 500 only 11 times. Think about that. 88 years, the last 88 years, they have 77 winning seasons.
Yeah, well, that's why you see the following. That's why you see the packed houses everywhere they go. The Jeters have obviously been a big part of that. Rodriguez a big part of that. But the guys before them, the Gehrigs, the Roos, the Mantles, DiMaggio. I mean, there's tons. Guidry, Mattingly. There's a lot of guys that were a part of all of what you're just talking about.
0-2 on Lopez outside. And the one thing, and I've seen this to be true, and I've been at Yankee Stadium with you. Once a Yankee, always a Yankee. You and Mike Gallego, when you go back there, I mean,
it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
It is. I mean, that's just part of it, I guess. Once you wear them, that they continue to look at you as one of the. Is one of the players that were a big part of it.
Jamie Quirk also played for the Yankees. Jamie was talking about playing for the Yankees before the ball game. Gags had a nice little run there. And he said, first time in spring training in Fort Lauderdale, he said, man, this is different. There were more members of the media in the clubhouse the first day of spring training than they had players.
That's pretty common, as you've noticed here in Denver. I'm sure the media has fought through to get quotes from Joe Torre and different things, but it's so hard to go anywhere.
There's the bunt, and Posada's got no chance. Clemens looked and he said, "You got it."
Yeah, I mean, again, the heavy grass, as much as it slows down ground balls through this ballpark, it also slows the bunts down. So if you can get it beyond the dirt area, it'll die right out there. So you kind of got it in no man's land. See this ball get out beyond the dirt, then it just dies. I mean, Clemens doesn't have a shot at it. Posada does not have a shot at it.
22nd bunt hit for Willie Taveras in game number 72. Next best in baseball, 7 bunt singles. And infield hits. Taveras 13 more than the former Rocky Juan Pierre. And they pitch out.
Not surprisingly, let's take a look at the Hyundai Cam replay of that bunt out front. I tell you, Taveras, as much as you concentrate otherwise, look at his eyes, barely see him there, but he watched and followed the ball, caught it with the bat, didn't try to jab or force it, and then just outran it.
Good hitting opportunity here for Matsui. Speed guy at first. 1-0 count. Willie with 17 bags, most by a Rocky since 2002 when Pierre had 47.
As we look at the outfield arms, we've talked about him during this series. Matsui, average everywhere for me. I mean, it's just a guy hit it left to right. Johnny Damon strengths down, man. I mean, he just doesn't throw it that well anymore. The injuries have stopped his mobility in the outfield. Bobby Abreu, pluses everywhere. Brought to you by Franklin D'Azar and Associates. Injured in an accident? Call Franklin D'Azar and Associates. One call, that's all.
George, did you vary your move when you threw to first?
Absolutely, and I'd step off and hold the ball because I was fortunate being around Lou Brock. You know, when I first came to the big leagues, I said, Lou, what bugs you? I mean, I wanted to gather all the information I could find. And he said, one thing I hate, a guy that holds the ball on the mound and doesn't throw to first or even throw to home. I didn't like guys that would stand and step off and then look at me. And he said, so in other words, I said, Lou, you don't like guys varying things. He goes, right. Well, if the best base stealer at that time in the history of the game's telling me that, I think I'm going to pay attention. So that's the one thing that I learned quick is step off, be quick to the plate, be slow to the plate.
When you did
2 head jerks, not one. I mean, you know, different things.
When you did throw over, was it always the A move? Or
A move.
Okay.
You know what? I just wasn't very good at lobbing the ball to first base. Now, Rick Sutcliffe would put you to sleep. He'd throw over, lob over 7, 8, 9 times, and then bam, snap throw. And he'd get you a lot of times. I just, you know, my mechanics didn't work that way. You've been around, I'm a high-strung guy. So if I tried to lob it, I mean, I might as well just go over and hand it to the lady on the 3rd row, because that's where it's going to be.
Finally a pitch to the plate, and it's 2-0 on Matsui.
Well, I'm sure Clemens studied Tavares in Houston, too. I mean, we talked about Pettit and Tavares being teammates in Houston. Well, Clemens was there at that same time, so I'm sure that he studied what Tavares does. Open hands, closed hands. Are his hands up? Are they down? Is he leaned over more when he steals the base? You watch those things. A little quicker move there may have got him because he had a little bit of a lean and tilt to second before he went back to first. See, watch this. See how he had a little head jerk forward towards second?
This is the most I've seen a guy work on Willie Tavares this year.
Well, he's got a tie score. I mean, if it's 2-0, he might get a little quicker to the plate. But he's got a 2-0 count. And one thing Willie's doing, he's going out and getting. Remember when he got picked off when he looked down to see how far he was off? Remember that? It was about 5, 6, maybe a couple of weeks ago. What Tavares did was he looked down.
There he goes. Here's the throw by Posada. And underneath the tag with his 18th stolen base is Willie Tavares.
Now, let me tell you something, too. There wasn't anything different Roger could have done. There wasn't anything different that Posada could have done to have a better opportunity. Tavares just outran everything. I mean, you know, Roger got rid of it fairly quick with a high leg kick. See Tavares look straight at the bag. You see him look off at all, and then the throw's right on the money for Posada, who has a good arm, an above average arm. Good pitch to throw on. Ball was up. It's just the speed outran it. And on the Hyundai cam, you can see the slide come in. Put on it. I like the fact that Tavares Matsui, 99% of the time, they will feet first slide versus head first. You have the tendency to injure the hand or possibly get hit in the head. Well, the walk to Matsui, men on, and Matt Holliday, that's not good. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's not going to be very good. Let's look at that steal one more time. Here's the big jump. Watch, see his head. This is what we were talking about. Remember when Jeter, I was talking about running to second and he looked back to see what the ball was doing? As a base stealer, you're staring at your destination, second base.
Just how you draw it up. The 2 speed guys aboard, 1 out, and here's Holliday. Ball 1. Matt struck out his first look today at Roger Clemens. 3 RBIs yesterday for Matt. 57 on the year. The only player with a higher batting average, Maglio Ordonez. He's over 380 right now. 1-1. Ichiro. Last time I looked, he was hitting 320, which isn't shabby. Now look at him. He's at 356.
Yeah, you think he got hot?
I don't know. He may not. He just may be normal, right?
Yeah, back to normal again. For 3 for 5 every night.
Here's the 1-1. Outside 2-1. 2-2 baseball game. Rockies applying the pressure here in the bottom of the 3rd. Trying to sweep the Yankees. pitch up there, 2-2.
55 pitches for Clemenger in the third inning, third start. He had 3 down at the minor league level, so I mean, he's not really in tip-top shape to extend beyond 80-85.
Guys, we're talking earlier on the Yankee side. This is really, George, for a starter, would be, you know, a late March start in spring training.
Yeah, where you're going to extend to 5 innings max, and that's if it goes smooth. You know, he had clean innings. He hadn't had clean innings.
The thing about Roger, even before he had announced that he was coming back and signed the deal with the Yankees, he throws all the time. So it's not like, okay, I've signed, now I'm going to pick up a baseball for the first time.
Yeah, but the big thing, that there's one thing playing catch and throwing BP to your kids in your indoor facility at home or at the high school than there is stepping on the mound in front of 49,000 people and a guy with a war club in his hand named Holiday. I mean, it's a whole different ball of wax. Your arm's in shape, but it's that mental reactions and everything else that go along with it. I mean, Drew, I'm 52 and I go and throw 30 minutes of batting practice at the high school all the time. But I'm not getting on the mound trying to get Holiday out. I can promise you that.
2-2 on Holiday. Outside. George, you know what? We have not seen much of it all today. And the scouting report coming in, we saw some tape on his first 2 starts. He was throwing the split 35% of the time. I don't know if he's thrown it much at all.
A lot. He had easy innings because he had a lot of ground ball outs, 15 strikeouts in 12 and a third innings. Only 12 hits given up. But a lot of the reason he was getting those innings in short because of the split finger.
Let's see if he goes to it 3-2. And he got him with a fastball.
Up in the zone. Second time in this ball game, Matt Holliday has struck out, but this time pretty good pitch by Clemens. It was inner half and in tight enough on the hands. You can see it tied him up just a little bit on Holliday. So take a look at this on your Hyundai cam. His hands never got extended till late, and he tried to get inside the baseball and then get through it, much like Tulowitzki did when he hit it. That ball had a better location and a little more zip behind it.
Helton with 2 outs. And Todd hits it on the ground to second. So Clemens will work out of it. And Taveras and Matsui left the board. We'll go to the 4th. The Rockies and Yankees tied at 2.
Which Rockies player would you like to know more about? Log on to ColoradoRockies.com and vote on the Player of the Homestand poll. Every homestand will spotlight a Rockies player of your choice. That player will be featured in various promotions on FSN Rocky Mountain, the Rocky Mountain News, and in the stadium during that homestand. Qualified voters become eligible to win awesome prizes throughout the season. Log on today and vote for the player you'd like to see featured in the next homestand.
Ooh. Oh.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Denver to Houston Hobby or Chicago Midway for just $79 or Nashville for just $89.
You are now free to move about the country.
What about Fuente's performance in the ninth? Fuentes? That kid saves everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, kitty, kitty. Here you go, girls.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes.
What's the matter, boy? No splashing.
Taco Bell game reset. Second inning, Hideki Matsui reached down on a sinker and hit it over the center field wall with a man aboard, 2-0. And then Garrett Atkins next inning, line drive on a hanging slider over the left field wall. And a couple of batters later, look at this ball off the bat of Tulowitzki, 445 feet to straightaway center field in his first plate appearance against Roger Clemens. 2-2 is where we stand. Drew Goodman and George Frazier, Bobby Abreu, A-Rod, and Jorge Posada. 3, 4, and 5 to face Rodrigo Lopez.
Well, not a lot of difference in this. I mean, Lopez, the one big hit he gave up, left the yard. Of course, Clemens, a few more strikeouts, but you look at the pitch count, it's been a little smoother, easier game for Lopez other than the 1 inning. I think this is a momentum swing in the game right here. This is where Lopez has had trouble in his starts, in his previous 8 starts, giving up 4 runs, the most in any single inning in his starts. So in that respect, I think this is a momentum inning for him and for his ball club.
Ball 1 on Abreu. Normally when Abreu comes up, he brings his sleeping bag and a couple of meals. He does not swing at the first pitch. Rarely does he swing at the second pitch. He generally is among the top 2 or 3 in the game at seeing pitches per at bat. Of course, Matt Holliday would be the antithesis of that. Holliday most frequently swings at that first pitch about half the time. Here's the 1-1 outside, 2-1.
Yeah, we talked about limiting the damage as a starting pitcher, and Rodriguez does that. He's given up 4 home runs, only 1 of those with a guy on. So there's some solo shots involved there, and I think it's just knowing how to pitch, where you are in the lineup, who you're facing.
And down low, 3-1 on Abreu. The patience has paid off in Bobby's career, in that Bobby Abreu has walked 100+ times, 8 straight years. Not this time. 3-1 pitch handled by Helton. He flips to Lopez, 1 out. Take a look at our Affleck trivia question. Who was the last pitcher to record his 350th win, and what year did it happen? Clemens sitting on 349 wins. His 24th major league season. And Roger was pretty good in 1986, George. I don't know if you recall way back then. I mean, you were still playing. Roger's first year went 24-4 with a 2.48 ERA. Is that any good?
That's pretty good, boys. Took Beantown by surprise and then owned it for a while.
Rodriguez, an infield hit to deep short his first time. And that pitch is a changeup that A-Rod was out in front of. Down low, 1-1. You know, always pays attention to our Affleck trivia question. A lot of times the Rockies bullpen, they can monitor things down there. They're trying to discuss. There's Rick Matthews. Now Rick has probably a real good idea who the answer is. Swung on and missed. Got the fastball by him, 1-2. Boy, Troy Hawkins came up to me one day before a game and said, I heard about your trivia question the other night, and he got 3 of the 4, and he was just, it was killing him. He wanted to know who the 4th guy was.
You know, and it's kind of a shame, but I will say this. I think the older players, guys that have been around longer, have studied the history of the game and what's happened up to this time more so than the young guys. There's some young guys that are big historians of the game. Jeff Francis, one of those guys, but there's a lot of guys today that, sure, they know guys that played 8-9 years ago, but you start bringing up names from 60s, 70s, and 80s. A lot of times they don't know who these guys are.
A-Rod's gone. Got crossed up there. Knee-high fastball. See you later. Second out of the 4th.
Well, A-Rod knew it too, because as soon as the pitch crossed the plate, he just locked those knees straight up in the air, just like, all right, you got me. And I'll head back to the dugout. They pitched him extremely well.
These guys will want to know what the question is later. Last pitcher to record his 350th win. George, you have any idea?
Yes, I do. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
That passed a few years ago. The great Warren Spahn.
Johnny Sane, Warren Spahn, and Pray for Rain.
Yeah. Posada, fly ball to left field his first time. The slider is in there at the knees.
Yeah, Johnny Sane, a long time pitching coach in the Atlanta Braves minor league system.
Here's a look at the strikeout of Alex Rodriguez again, George.
Yeah, here's the Hyundai cam again on that inside fastball. He's got kind of a little cut rotation to it right on the inside corner for strike 3.
Outside on Posada, 2-1. You know, Jorge has been in the big leagues now for quite some time. He's 35. He has never been on the disabled list. This is a catcher. 3-1. When you look at the all-time list, home runs as a catcher. Piazza with 396. Fisk with 301. Posada has 200 home runs behind the plate. On the ground, foul. We saw the 207. That does not include times that he's DH'd and may have hit a home run, or the rare appearance at first base. Here's the 3-2. Slider hit the center field, and that'll drop in front of Willie Taveras. So Posada is aboard with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Matsui. And Matsui has provided the Yankees with all of their offense in this ball game, and half of it in this series with 1 swing.
Out in front of that sinker, was able to lift it at that time. The wind was just howling out to center field. Carried that ball on out to the ballpark. Ball was hit hard, though.
Hideki Matsui, whose nickname is Godzilla back in Japan. He got it when he was a youngster, just bigger and stronger than everybody else. He really stuck when a newspaper wrote about his monstrous blast when he was in high school. Outside, 2-0. Last month, Matsui became the 46th member of the Meiyukia, Japanese Golden Players Club, and it's based on statistical plateaus. Hideki had over 1,300 hits for the Giants, the Yomiuri Giants. And then when he got a double for the Yankees in early May, George, it gave him a total of 2,000 hits as a professional. Wow. And so now he's a member of the Golden Players Club in Japan. .20 and a off-speed delivery in there. 2-1. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles than anyone. When you drive any of these Chevy flex fuel vehicles, you can help reduce greenhouse emissions and reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Good for the environment, good for the economy, good for Colorado. Chevy, made for Colorado. 2-1 on Hideki Matsui. 2 outs in the top of the 4th, and that's in there as well. 2-2. And it's fouled off. Jorge Posada at first base is pretty familiar with the Rockies organization, George, because of his dad.
Yeah, his dad works in handles the Puerto Rican scouting bureau for the Rockies down there. So he's the guy that's out finding people for the Rockies and does that job for them, and has raised a pretty good ball player, obviously.
You think?
Yeah.
2-2 on Matsui. Posada at first. There are 2 outs in the 4th.
There's a lot of satisfaction going on in this organization with the team winning, but there's none more really than You think of guys in this organization as Danny Montgomery and Dave Holliday and Ty Kozlow, the national cross checkers, all the area scouts that have been responsible, that work for Dan O'Dowd and Billy Schmidt as a scouting director, that when you look out on this field and you see the Atkins and the Tulowitzkis and the Heltons and the Holidays and the Hops that have come through your system as draft picks, the hard work, the miles that you drive in the middle of the night to get to a ball game at 10 o'clock the next morning to watch a Brad Hop. All those guys that have worked out there are feeling a lot of satisfaction right now that they were right when they made those choices to sign these young kids.
I'll tell you what, they log so many miles. I was kidding Bill Schmidt yesterday. This is the most I've seen Bill in a year, because he's actually been in town for about 3 straight days.
Well, a lot of the times the draft ended on the 8th. Those guys were on the road the 10th doing their pro coverage.
3-2 on Matsui. Posada will be moving. And a ground ball to short. The good hands of Tulowitzki takes care of Hideki Matsui. Posada left aboard. Atkins, Hop, and Tulowitzki when we come back. 2-2 ball game.
Hey, boss. Do we have Aflac?
Nah, we have something else.
But if you're hurt and miss work, does it pay cash like Aflac does?
Nah.
Or let you spend it any way you want, like for gas and groceries?
Nah.
Or help with everyday bills like Aflac does?
Nah.
There's only one Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Nice try, boss.
Nah.
Remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
It was too graphic for the kids, so I'm gonna have to block you.
You know, I gotta make this up.
That's really not necessary.
This is Vinny's watch.
Want a big eat for a tiny price? That's huge. Tackle your hunger with the Pizza Hut Pizzone. Over 1 pound of cheese and toppings for just $5.99 or 2 for $10.99. Get way more. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
With an exhilarating 258 horsepower VTEC engine, an intelligent performance-minded cockpit, double wishbone suspension, and true surround sound. All you need to do is get in. The TL from Acura.
Now you can lease a TL for $369 a month for well-qualified customers.
Wing Street has 162 ways to wing it. So many intense flavors, from honey barbecue to burnin' hot. Get them bone in, bone out, or traditional. All delivered by Pizza Hut. Wing Street, you've been warned. Order now at wingstreet.com.
Blue Jays, tomorrow at 5.
Coors Light cold blast. Garrett Atkins with the Rockies trailing 2-0. Get him on the board with the home run to left field. Tulowitzki would hit one a couple of hitters later to tie up this baseball game. Atkins in the 4th will lead off against Roger Clemens, and that pitch is outside, ball 1. Rockies, by way of their 6-1 win last night, have now won 6 consecutive series. First time in franchise history that they can make that statement. And this is a strike, 1-1. 4-1 so far in the homestand, and the Major League best 19-7 since May 22nd. And by the way, happy summer, everybody. Today, the first official day. Not that it didn't feel like summer the last 2 days in the mid-90s. So, George, based on your decision, we decided to wear black today for the first day of summer, just to try to conduct a heat experiment.
Well, that and the bad guys are in town. We're going to get you. We're going to win again and try to. The Rockies are going to try to sweep the Yankees.
Okay.
Now, actually, folks, I didn't want to do laundry, and this was clean.
Which is generally how we determine on the day game.
Drew, what's clean? Blue.
Wear, right?
Okay, good to go.
Center field, pretty deep, but Damon will get back and make the catch right in front of the wall. So that is the first out of the inning. And that will bring up Brad Hopp. Well,
nice looking unis today, huh?
I like these unis.
Yeah, I do too. Comfortable to wear. Feel like you're kind of just sitting in the stands talking to a buddy about baseball. That's more what we do most nights anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? When it's 95 degrees, this feels a whole lot better than a tie.
Oh boy, does it ever. Glad to see that decision was made at the corporate office.
Yep. Brad Hopp, big swing, no baseball, 1 out with Hopp at the plate. He was caught looking his first time on a borderline pitch. Two runs and 3 hits for each club.
Hey, watch Roger. It's more about pinpoint control and where he goes with it. I mean, that's one of the big things right now. Start to look at most wins since 1920. Spahn 363. Clemens going for 350. He's at 349. Maddox, Steve Carlton, retired here in Colorado. Oh,
yeah.
Didn't get him. Thought it did.
I don't know how it missed him.
I don't know how he reacted quick enough to almost try to make a play on this ball.
Remember when Brad
Hopp inside in this thing in before.
Jordan, remember when Brad Hopp hit Mark Pryor?
You know, I do remember it. Mark Pryor remembers it very well. And how did this ball get by Clemens' midsection out into the outfield? It did. Now 2 balls hit very hard. Atkins the deep drive in center field. And now this single by Brad Hopp.
How many times did you get hit in your career?
Probably 4 or 5. I got hit in the knee. I got hit in the thigh. Never in the upper body, but I got hit an awful lot in the legs.
Tulowitzki right on that fastball. Troy Tulowitzki, his first time up. An at bat he will never forget, safe to say. And he hit a pitch probably out of the strike zone, 1.5 miles to straightaway center field. Look at this.
Yeah, when Clemens couldn't believe it himself either. That high up and at 89 miles an hour that he got his hands through it, the bat head with that type of velocity to be able to drive the baseball that far.
It is why when you see him punish the baseball like that, that many in the game believe he'll be a 20, 25 plus home run guy once he settles in. And once again, he was on that pitch.
Well, an average at 273 now among rookies. 4 home runs, 29 RBIs. I mean, the kid's done an awful lot already this year. I think that that second half could only get better. When I say better, it could get better with the RBIs and get better with the home runs.
I was talking to him before the ball game. He had a nice time chatting with his dad after last night's 6-1 win, reminiscing about meeting Jeter. And he said Jeter was all he thought he'd be, just a classy guy, the guy that he adored growing up. And tonight when he calls Dad, he can talk to him about the home run off the Rocket. 0-2 and a base hit. He'll add to the story as well. Hopp stops at second, 2 on with 1 out.
Now 3 balls have been hit extremely hard in this inning. Atkins, Hopp, and now Tulowitzki on a ball away from him. Instead of trying to pull the baseball, goes to that way with the pitch. A very good job of hitting out on the front foot, recognized it, and drove it out to right center field. Rogers trying to make sure that he gets the ball farther out on that outer half of the plate. And as Posada went to go catch it, see his eyes closed.
You are allowed to blink.
Yeah, but his were completely closed. Is that guessing the vicinity of where it's going to be coming?
Yorvi Torrealba with 2 on and 1 out.
I'm not saying anything wrong with blinking. I wouldn't even want to be back there. Trying to umpire one time in Little League. It's tough to umpire when you're looking at the back of the screen. Watch Posada's eyes right here, right as it comes. They stayed closed as he came up. That's pretty cool.
Torrealba had a big home run on Tuesday night to give the Rockies a 2-run advantage. That's how the ball game finished. Colorado 3, New York 1. Rockies, when they get to Toronto, will shuffle their lineup a little bit because they're going to play every day really for the next 2 weeks. That's inside 2-0, and they have to play on carpet the next 3 days. So don't be surprised if Helton and Matsui and Certainly Torrealba sit down for a day or two.
You know what? The big thing that you look for there is that by getting onto the carpet, you don't want to come up sore knee, sore back. You know, because you're just not used to being on it.
2-0 on your V. Outside 3-0. Of course, Lopez is on deck, but with one out, Clemens is not trying to walk the bases loaded, believe me. Pitch count really starting to rise. 74th pitch upcoming. With just one out in the 4th inning.
Well, you talked about it. I think probably around 90 is going to be the limit, maybe 95. And first inning at 19, struggled with 24 in the 2nd inning. And here in the 4th, he's already at 15. 74 total, brought to you by Sonic.
(3-1) to Torrealba, and a ground ball to the right side. Bobbled, and now one play for Miguel Cairo, and that's to tag the bag.
You know what? I thought it was a bad play to even think about trying to go to second base with him. I really did. I don't think you were going to have a shot at getting Tulowitzki, so why go and try to make that play? Get the out. I mean, you realize you have Torrealba running. But as he spun to do it, you take your eye off the ball. Now you run the risk of getting over and having confusion at your bag. I mean, Clemens came over for coverage on it for you to flip to him. To almost avoid collision there, but get the out. I mean, know where you are in your lineup, and knowing that you have your pitcher coming up and a guy that's been in the American League for most of the time. Well, the first time Ron Guidry's been out to the Hill to visit with Roger, or any of his pitchers through here.
And George, safe to say this is the biggest conference that has ever taken place before Rodrigo Lopez has walked to home plate to hit.
Well, you know, I think they want to make sure and double check that he's okay. I'm talking about Clemens going over and covering bags because of the groin injury that he had that delayed his start here. At times he doesn't have that luxury of everything else that goes on. Give him a little breather. Make sure they're all on the same page. Lopez 2 for 31 in his career. He doesn't have an RBI yet.
Lopez tried to drag his way on. And you know what, get Clemens moving, not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, Rodriguez isn't that close to you, but what you got to do is catch the baseball. Again, that was an American League guy trying to bump for base hits, both hands up the bat, slapped at it. What technique-wise, folks, wasn't very good.
One and one on Rodrigo Lopez. Rockies left 2 on in the 3rd. The only 1-2-3 inning for Clemens was the 1st, and he struck out 2 in that 1st inning. Got Taveras and Holiday.
For the series, the Rockies have been much better, obviously with runners in scoring position, but the Yankees 1 for 19. The Rockies 1 for 13. The Rockies 6 for 19.
One and 2 on Lopez. So Clemens gets Lopez, and the Rockies leave Hop and Tulowitzki at 2nd and 3rd. We go to the 5th, tied at 2.
So does he live in the city?
No, but he might soon.
What's that mean? Oh boy.
So what does he do?
Oh, I'm sure he does lots of things.
He'll probably expect her to cook for him. Freeloader.
No, for a living.
Bounty hunter.
Doctor?
With Quest, family connections can happen anywhere, anytime. Bundle high-speed internet, digital voice, and now wireless all for one low price. Call today and build a bundle that's just right for you. Even add digital TV for not much more. Bundle, save, connect. That's our spirit of service.
Corn-based E85 fuel is popping up all over Colorado. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles capable of using E85 than any other brand. It helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions and our dependence on oil. Good for the environment, good for our economy. Qualified lessees can lease this 07 Impala LS for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Gentlemen, you're at 5,280 feet. You are breathing 20% less oxygen than anyone else in the game of baseball. Suck it up. Quickly, quickly. High altitude. Water is your friend. Drink. I don't know what you have learned. Don't wear sunscreen. You'll get burned. High altitude baking, men. More flour. Unbelievable.
So here we go, top of the 5th inning. And it'll be the bottom of the order for the New York Yankees. Rodrigo Lopez will face Robinson, Cano, Miguel Cairo, and then Clemens. We've seen some dark clouds today. It's kept the sun off some people. Fortunately, no raindrops. This season, Cardell Homes is sponsoring Home Runs for Hunger. Each time a Rocky hits a home run, Cardell Homes will donate $100 to the food bank of the Rockies. To learn more about Home Runs for Hunger or to pledge your support, go to cardellhomes.com. Click on the Home Runs for Hunger icon. Cano swung at the first pitch. He hit a slider to second base his first time up. And Lopez starts him out again with that slider and hits the strike zone.
I mean, they get after Clemens a little bit at the bottom with Hop and Tulowitzki. You're at the bottom of their order. Cano, Cairo, and then, of course, Clemens. So, you know, try to have another one of those momentum swing deals where you can try to get 3 quick outs and get your offense back in the dugout again, swinging the bats.
Robinson Cano, not the first family member to be with the Yankees organization. His dad, Jose, signed with the Yankees in 1980 and reached the majors briefly as a pitcher with Houston in 1989. Excuse me, not as a pitcher. He's got 6 ball games in. It was 0 for 6. Jose Cano went on to play several years in the Mexican League. And Jose named his son after the late great Jackie Robinson. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cano. And he fouls it off. Cano from San Pedro de Macorís. So it's our once-a-month time to say, George, how many guys have come out of San Pedro de Macorís?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Probably one of the best. Tony Fernandez was one of the first shortstops to come out of there with Toronto.
You've been there.
Oh yeah, I loved it down
How
there.
big a town?
Not very big. It would really fit comfortably in the course field.
A base hit for Cano to lead off the 5th inning, and that'll bring up Cairo in a 2-2 baseball game.
Hey, for Rockies fans, let me remind you, if you donate your car, truck, or SUV to helping kids, you can change a kid's life. When you donate a vehicle, you not only get a tax break, a free tow, but also a $1,000 voucher toward the purchase of a new or used vehicle from Freeway Ford or Longmont Ford. For more information, go to carskids.com or cheaperfords.com.
Boy, the official population of San Pedro de Macorís, courtesy of Doug Marino, who knows everything.
Well, it's on the outskirts of Santo Domingo.
Yeah, 267,000 people.
That's not true.
And they turn out, and 255,000 of them have played the big leagues. No, 248,000 are shortstops.
Well, Pedro Estacio had built a new home out there. Sammy Sosa, different guys live out in that area.
0-1 on Cairo.
All I can tell you is when I played in that town, you didn't get to shower there because there was no running water in the locker room in 1978. Obviously, things have improved.
One would hope. Left center field, long run for Willie, and Taveras will glide over and make the catch. And having to return to first base is Cano. And with one out, Clemens will come up, and we'll check our Esurance inside information. It concerns Mr. Torre. Joe Torre, the first big leaguer with 2,000 hits as a player and 2,000 wins as a manager. In fact, Joe sitting on 2,008 wins. His next win, he'll tie Leo DeRocher for 9th on the all-time managerial victory list. And he's managed Atlanta, St. Louis, and of course the New York Mets. And Joe had a great playing career, but he will go in the Hall of Fame because of the combination of his playing career and what he has done as a manager of the New York Yankees.
Well, that's the big thing. It didn't hurt that he was in New York when he had this success as a manager. And I'll say this, I don't think he would have had this much continued success over the span as a manager if it was not for the his being the Yankee manager.
Oh, of course not. But you know what? He is, and I said it the other night, the perfect man to work for a guy with very high expectations in George Steinbrenner, a very demanding guy. As Clemens takes the strike, and it's 0-2. And he has the perfect demeanor to deal with the New York media and the demands that that puts upon your time, and also the guys making 10, 15, 20, 25, 27 million dollars like A-Rod is this year, and all the egos.
But Joe's the highest paid guy in baseball. He's compensated
he ought to be.
Yeah, he's compensated very well for managing the New York Yankees.
Clemens almost walked into that.
Well, on an 0-2 count, a lot of times what you'll do as a pitcher, you want to rise it up into the strike zone to try to get him to get the bat under, pop it up in the air. Plus the other thing, you know, you're just thinking about 2 strikes, maybe he's not bunting, he's swinging, and sneak one by him too.
And Roger pulls it back and hits it up the middle. On an 0-2 pitch, Roger Clemens comes through with a base hit.
And I watched the other day as they showed a lot of video of Roger Clemens coming to Denver. He was working on bunting, but he was also working on this very play, the slug bunt. You fake bunt, pull the bat back, and then you get a ball up. And what do you really do, folks, when you do that? You're choking up on the bat 2 to 3 inches. You got much better bat control. It's not a full swing. It's a short, choppy swing. And that's what happened. I mean, they had a pretty good result there on a base hit up the middle. Tell you this much, I'm sure Clemens and the Yankees would prefer not to see him on the base paths. By the way, Joe Torre became pretty smart when he was in New York as a manager. Prior to that, he had won 894 games, lost 1,003, managing those other ball clubs.
Good players will make you smarter.
Yep.
Johnny Damon takes a strike. Damon, a comebacker, and he was caught looking in the 3rd inning. He has not had impressive at-bats in this series. He's 0 for 5. And his average at 251, well beneath his career average of 289. Lopez needing to bear down here. He's got Damon and then Jeter on deck. 1 out, 2 on. Tied at 2 in the 5th. Keep working him away, George.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the big thing about it, because of his rib injury, he's going to pull off the ball a little bit. So it's easier to keep the ball inside and pull off than it is to extend everything out to that outside corner. So a lot of times he's not going to extend and do something with it with a lot of authority. On the strikeout, it was a 4-seamer inside corner. Locked him up.
Line drive, gloved by Atkins, chance for 2. They'll get 2. They double off Robinson, Cano at second, and it's time to head to the dugout. Middle of 5. The Rockies 2 and the Yankees 2 as Damon lines into a double play.
FSN rounds the bases with Rockies Weekly. Catch up on the week's biggest stories surrounding the Rockies with special insight from the skipper himself. Rockies Weekly, Sunday at 10 right here on FSN Rocky Mountain.
with XM satellite radio, a 403 horsepower engine, and best-in-class highway gas mileage. The Cadillac Escalade is beautiful inside and out. Visit your Colorado Cadillac dealer.
Raspberry iced tea.
Yeah, that's great.
That is good.
I wonder why tea?
What do you mean?
I mean, of all the letters you could pick from, why T? Why not raspberry iced M or any of the other, like, 48 letters?
First of all, that's way too many letters.
And I know how many letters there are in the alphabet.
May I sub-respond before you finish?
Sure.
Do you?
Tropical Mango Tea. New at Sonic. Cool, fresh brewed, and perfect for summer. Try a mango tea today or any other tea flavor because Sonic is your ultimate drink stop.
AMCI's best-in-class certification for combined acceleration and braking isn't just handed out. You've got to earn it. Get 0% APR on the all-new, full-size Toyota Tundra. The truck that's changing it all. Now at your Toyota dealer.
Time for our Panasonic Plasma Speed of Sports. Bunt single from Willie Taveras. And then a stolen base. We've seen both of those plays in the past from Willie. Almost on a nightly basis. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, 2-2 baseball game, bottom of the 5th, and Willie will lead it off against the Rocket. It'll be Taveras, Matsui, and Holiday. Rockies had a pretty good scoring chance last time Willie was up. In the 3rd, he had that bunt single, stole second. Matsui walked behind him. But Clemens was able to strike out Holiday and get Helton on a ground out. This is a pop-up. And Jeter, battling some wind issues, makes the catch, 1 out. If you have a break in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. Another capacity crowd at Coors Field. More than 50,000 last night, more than 50,000 on Tuesday night. The attendance record for a 3-game set at Coors Field set when the Yankees were here in 2002, and it was 146,000 and change. That is going to go bye-bye. But the run total, George, will not, unless something really, really weird happens.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
70 combined runs in the series the last time the Yankees were here, and right now there's 11 combined runs coming into today, and then there's 4 more today, so 15.
You know, I don't know what the walks were during that span. I really don't. I just know that there was a lot of them. And I remember going over in the 6th inning and telling Jim Cotta, who was doing the broadcast at the time, I said, Jimmy, you haven't seen anything yet. He goes, you got to be kidding me. There's like 11 walks, 3 hit batsmen, home runs, everything going on. I said, oh, no, it's not even close. Then the game ends up 20-11. He couldn't believe how much explosion could happen in this park in a pretty short time frame.
Base hit by Matsui. So Kaz out there with 1 out, and here comes Holiday again.
Well, I got to believe probably Dundee for Roger. 84 pitches. When he gets any more trouble deeper into this game, or maybe 1 or 2 more. Scott Proctor, the right-hander, hard-throwing right-hander, starting to warm up down in the bullpen. But you mentioned it's like 6th start or last start in spring training before you expand on out there. Joe Torre knows that, you know, they signed this guy, spent a lot of money on him. You don't need to put him on the DL, do it in a hurry after 3 starts.
Remember when Taveras was over there a couple of innings ago, Roger threw over about 6 or 7 times. And then here he goes to work on Matsui. You know, Clemens working with Posada today for the 140th time. Posada has caught more of Roger's starts than anybody. #2 on that list in Roger's great career is in the Yankee dugout. He's their first base coach, Tony Pena. Pitch out.
I noticed something a little different. You were just talking about Donnie Mattingly, the bench coach now, and Tony Pena, their first base coach. And I was watching Guidry. Now, I just want to watch for a second, and if we can't keep it on him, it's unusual that a pitching coach calls the running game. Normally, it's your bench coach or the ex-catcher. Tony Pena, in my opinion, would be good to do this. But Guidry's been calling the running game, the pickoffs at first, the different things. And as he looks back at Joe Torre and Tony Pena, what are you going to do here? But Gator's been calling a lot of it.
And a 2-0 count for Holiday.
And now you're going to step back off the rail. I mean, you know, Gator before, every time he'd give up the signs, he was going to him and go to the hat. And he's back checking on Proctor right now to make sure he's ready to get in the ball game. Or it's one of those, if he's not ready, tell him to hurry up.
You know, one scout in looking at Clemens, George, in his first 2 starts, and I'd be interested in your opinion, said Roger now has become pretty average in assessing his stuff, but what makes him so good still is his guts.
Well, he's good.
There he goes.
Man, you kidding? Roger Clemens is a competitor.
Yeah.
He didn't want to lose. You think he came back? I mean, he was enjoying retirement. I think what really turned the corner for him was when all of a sudden his good friend Andy Pettit calls and says, come on, man, come back. You can help us turn this thing around.
But you know what? I still point out last year the league hit .216 against him.
Oh, I know.
He had a .230 ERA. In 05, he had a .187 ERA.
He's the 2007 Nolan Ryan that pitched deep with power and deception.
2-1 on Holiday, and again, Matt unable to catch up with that one, and it's 2-2. Holiday, when he has swung and missed against Clemens, it's been up in the strike zone, it seems like.
Yeah, it has been. Twice on strikeouts, fastballs in on the knuckles and up a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me to see Clemens go back there again.
There goes Matsui, throw to second, nowhere close, and another stolen base for the Rockies. So Matsui's out there with 1 out for Holiday, and the count's full on Matt.
And a big stolen base too to get in a scoring position as they have in this ball game for either Holiday or Helton to knock in.
.13 stolen base in 14 attempts for Matsui. Mike Myers is the underhander, and Scott Proctor is on the right side. With Myers up, you're trying to think along with Joe Torre, this may be his last batter. Potentially. I mean, if he gets him out, maybe he lets him keep going, but
if he gets him out, first base open and 2 outs, you can move Helton and then pitch to Hop. Excuse me, Atkins.
And here's a base hit to center field. Matsui around third. He'll score easily, and the Rockies take a 3-2 lead. Matt Holiday comes through again. George, he was 0 for 2, and for Holiday, that's like a slump. So he was due to come out.
Well, he was. I mean, and this is the whole thing, trying to throw that heater in on him where you threw it by him twice. But look where the pitch is. The strikeouts were on fastballs up. This pitch is down, where Holiday will hurt you all the time. When you go down with Holiday, you're going to pay for it versus coming up in the strike zone where you can get it by him.
A manufactured run for the Rockies, a base hit, a stolen base, and then a single from your RBI machine. And the crowd of 50,000 will stand and salute one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Roger Clemens, as he walks off at Coors Field. In all likelihood for the final appearance here in Denver. 3-2 Colorado.
Now, give that man the money you owe him.
But Mom, it really was only $1.29.
For a quesadilla with 3 cheeses and seasoned beef? You think I was born yesterday?
No, ma'am. It is only $1.29.
Thank you.
For a quesadilla with 3 cheeses.
Ow!
Where's the manager?
Taco Bell's new extreme cheese and beef quesadilla. Seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, and 3 melted cheeses for only $1.29. To get unbelievable taste and price, think outside the bun.
Corn-based E85 fuel is popping up all over Colorado. Chevy offers more choices of flex fuel vehicles capable of using E85 than any other brand. It helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions and our dependence on oil. Good for the environment, good for our economy. Qualified lessees can lease this 07 Impala LS for around $199 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Quality Tough Shed Sundance Series buildings are now available at the Home Depot. Tough Shed does it all, from helping you design your storage building to installing it where you want. Just call, click, or visit to order your Sundance Series building today. Right now, free paint with any Sundance Series building. Plus, get 12 months same-as cash financing through July 8th with your Home Depot consumer credit card. Legendary Tough Shed buildings, plus the convenience of the Home Depot.
The Tough Shed Sundance Series, available exclusively at the Home Depot.
Matt Holliday has driven in Kaz Matsui. The Rockies lead 3-2. Here's Mike Myers. We saw him on Tuesday night to face Todd Helton, and he walked Helton.
On a 3-2 fastball away, he thought he had Helton struck out. Already has pitched as many innings as he did a year ago.
I tell you what, you see Todd's reaction there. He wasn't going to fully get out of the way.
Well, I think his thinking is, you know, you got to tell yourself in your mind, because of the angle and what you're doing, you're telling yourself to hang in as long as you can. Well, 3 for 8, including that big hit, his 1,000th at Coors Field.
That's low, 2-0. Atkins on deck. Proctor continuing to fire in the Yankee bullpen. Rockies 3 runs and 7 hits against Roger Clemens. Clemens goes 4 1/3, responsible for Holliday at first. Roger walked 1 and struck out 5.
I mentioned this when he came in the other day. Myers has moved because it's not deceptive like most left-handers, because when he throws to the plate, his upper body tilts out over the rubber and then spins into the plate. When he goes to first, he just stays erect. I mean, you know, once he starts that move to the plate, see how he bends down? There's no way he can go to first base. I mean, there's no way physically to redirect his body to first base. So as a base runner, you can pick up on that pretty easy.
You know, it's always strange to me, George, just watching these guys play catch. You know, the Brian Fuentes, Mike Meyer, because even when they play catch, they don't play catch overhand. They play catch as they would throw in a game.
You should play catch and use your proper throwing motion regardless of how far or velocity you're trying to throw every time.
This ball clubbed to center field for a base hit. Holliday will cut the bag at second. Here's a throw by Damon to third base, not in time. First and third as Helton singles off of Myers.
Now that's what happens, and you mentioned they made the decision to play deep in the outfield here instead of playing shallow. So when you play deep, and guys that can run a little bit like a Matt Holliday, they're going to take advantage of that. And so did Todd Helton. That ball drops out in front of Damian. Johnny Damian runs fairly well when he's 100% healthy, but he comes in so deep to catch this baseball. Once he catches it, though, he hasn't got a shot at Matt Holliday at third. So now you got a first and third, and you bring in Proctor, who throws really hard coming into the ball game to face the right-handed hitting Garrett Atkins,
who hits the fastball pretty well. Back in a moment.
Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Denver to Baltimore, Washington, Orlando, or Tampa Bay for just $99 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
We're watching True Great tonight. This is one for the books.
Figure skating?
Warning, Wing Street's variety can be deeply distracting. Wing Street has 162 ways to distract you. So many intense flavors, from honey barbecue to burnin' hot. Get them bone in, bone out, or traditional, all delivered by Pizza Hut. With 162 sauces, styles, and sizes, you want it, Wing Street's got it. Wing Street, you've been warned. Order now at wingstreet.com.
With XM satellite radio, a 403 horsepower engine, and best-in-class highway gas mileage. The Cadillac Escalade is beautiful inside and out.
Visit your Colorado Cadillac dealer.
Well, let's take a look at this base hit by Todd Helton as it comes out of the hand of Mike Myers from way under. And now it's going to work its way, hopefully, to that outside corner. Instead, Helton gets the bad hit out front. Ball stays in the middle half and then met squarely by Todd Helton and driven back up the middle for a base hit. Well, the Yankees go to their bullpen. Scott Proctor, 36th appearance. A year ago, Proctor led the American League with 83, second most in the big leagues.
First and
Overall.
third for Atkins. Fastball at 94 is outside. Proctor's a product of Florida State University.
Hard thrower, 35 2/3, 26 strikeouts.
He's one of those guys, and there aren't many in the game. He has touched 100 miles an hour with his fastball. 2-0. Proctor walks about 4.5 batters per 9 innings, which is a skosh high.
Well, when you're working out of the bullpen, it is. Last year, he threw 102 innings. 102 1/3 to be exact.
This ball driven with authority, right center field. Abreu going back, reaches up, makes the catch, but here comes Holiday with the Rockies' 4th run. I thought off the bat that ball was scalded. It was, and I was looking at Abreu, George, and I'm saying I don't think he judged this right. He had to go back at the last instant and Reese jump. So Garrett Atkins comes through with his 35th RBI. It's 4-2 Colorado.
Man, that's where a little bit of his speed pays off in right field because, yeah, I thought he didn't read it right either. I thought maybe this had a chance to be a souvenir when it left the bat. I didn't know if it'd stay in the ballpark, but caught right in front of the fence by Abreu. Nonetheless, the Rockies pick up another run, 4-2 now, Colorado.
That closes the book on Roger Clemens. He gives up 4 runs, all of them earned on 7 hits at 4 1/3. 0-2 on Hop. Yeah, I thought the same way you did, George. Off the bat, I thought he may have just hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, I really did. I thought it had a chance to be out of the ballpark.
Runner going, and easy pickings is Helton. Is tagged out in the inning. 2 runs come around for the Rockies on 3 hits and a sac fly. 4-2 Colorado.
The curveball will spin up to 30 times a second and break as much as 17 inches. Watch every pitch in clear Panasonic motion. Panasonic Plasma for the speed of sports. Panasonic, ideas for life.
It's Cheyenne Frontier Days, the 111th annual Daddy of 'em All. $1 Million Rodeo, the bull riding, Bon Jovi, Reba, Big and Rich, and so many more. July 20th to the 29th, so get your tickets now.
Help! I can't swim.
Thanks.
Amazing savings. Sign up today for Comcast Digital Voice and you'll get this amazing offer. With unlimited local and long distance plus voicemail. Because the less money you pay, the more you get to keep for yourself. Just call 1-800-COMCAST today. Comcast Digital Voice. It's Comcastic.
While other kids were playing games, Jenny was building sandcastles. No one thought she'd ever live in one, except for Jenny. Go inside the world's most extreme homes. All new series. Mondays at 9 on HGTV.
Find exactly what you need at Searchlight 888. Press 888 on your Comcast digital remote and go exactly where you want without leaving your sofa. Go to Automotive to search for cars, trucks, and SUVs from Denver's hottest dealerships on Searchlight 888.
Access tonight on FSN Rocky Mountain.